Hi, I'm Chris from Development. I wanted to briefly go over some of the internals of version 2.1. There are a number of things that are now added with the new install, and those include a database as well as some other aspects that run the webmin. So just to keep you give you a heads up there, basically, I wanted to show where some of these files are and make sure that you keep them protected. So basically, if you're inside of your Coronium server, this is our home Coronium folder. In the projects, there's now an underscore admin project, and anything that has an underscore you usually want to leave alone. And in here holds the code for the Coronium Webmin. The Coronium Webmin was built entirely using the Pages module and the API itself inside Coronium. So in the Pages folder, there's also an underscore Coronium, and inside here holds the webmin as well as some other items, so you kind of want to leave that alone. You don't want to delete these folders. If you do, you will break your webmin basically. In the there's a templates folder, and in there's a registration directory, and inside here is where the if you're using user registration through email, this is where the default email template's kept, and then you can also store your custom email templates here as well. In the configuration folder, there's the email configuration, and that correlates with the configuration for your mailgun settings. So it's best to update those through the webmin, but if you needed to do it manually, that's where you would do that. The host configuration also can be dealt with through the webmin, and that's this item here, but again, you can work with that manually in dire circumstances. And the key file is generated for the server, and this is the key that you use when you're working with your API on the client side. So usually, you don't want to mess with that unless you really know what you're doing with that. So those are the items you need to be aware of as far as what's inside of this home Coronium folder. Those are things that have been added in 2.1. The other aspect is the database. In the MySQL database, there's now a Coronium database with a number of different tables that handle the statistics and storing the users, things like that. So you don't really want to mess with any of those. Those are all handled behind the scenes by the API. And then most of those visuals are output through the webmin here. There is a table called API hits that does not have any type of display created yet in the webmin, and that just kind of shows you how many times the API has been hit for each day. But beyond that, you'll want to leave this Coronium database alone, and make sure especially not to delete it, or it'll basically destroy your whole webmin system here, and you'll lose your user registrations and etc., etc. It's a good idea to back this Coronium database up every once in a while too as well. So that pretty much covers some of the things that have been added to 2.1 that are now basically mandatory. The database, those specific project folders, as well as those pages files that help run this webmin and keep those statistics for you and metrics. So that pretty much covers that. Hope that helps you out, and thanks for watching.